As always, humorous jabs made at anything in this video are done purely in jest. Unless it's at myself, in which case it's probably true. It's May, and we all know what that means. Next month is June. We are about to get slammed with
World Premiere.
Game announcements faster than a paywalled reporter can block people on Twitter while leaking those same announcements an hour ahead of time.
It's just you have no integrity.
New exclusive games will be shown off for the next-gen consoles that are currently harder to find than my girlfriend's libido whenever I take my clothes off. The solution to either one is to either go screw yourself, or pay someone else a whole lot of money instead. Various companies will show all kinds of amazing new games, but Nintendo will show a fat plumber in a red hat or a silent Peter Pan knockoff, and everyone will claim they won E3 anyway. Meanwhile, their system struggles under the weight of anything more demanding than a calculator, if you catch my drift. But that's next month. There are still a whole bunch of cool games that some of you probably missed, but not to worry. Every month, I take Steam's bukkake of upcoming game releases right in the eyes so that I can spot the strongest swimmers and implant them directly to you. I recently had to get a new prescription for eyeglasses, so I do hope you all appreciate this. Five Nations is from a bygone era of nice things that no longer exist. Video game manuals, Warcraft 3 Classic, and my dignity. It's a new space-focused real-time strategy game that gives me nice tingly feelings about when I first plopped in a cartridge of StarCraft 64, and then got my ass wrecked harder than Sony fans who naively believed Bethesda games weren't going to be exclusive to Xbox.
Who's laughing now?
The ladies might call me the Microman, but that sadly does not translate into micromanagement RTS skills. By the time I move one unit 3 feet to the left, the enemy has burnt down anything I ever loved and repeatedly rubbed their male reproductive organs all over my face. Five Nations has a lovely old school look, but is also jammed packed with content. You'll never guess how many nations you can choose from, and there are 56 campaign missions plus a skirmish mode to battle it out with the AI. The game is purely single player, and in some ways that's comforting. It means that ideally the AI has to be fairly decent to make up for the lack of human opponents. Then again, Total War's AI exists, so maybe I better not get ahead of myself. There is a demo on Steam if you're interested. Before We Leave is a city building game about attempting to thrive while also leaving the world better than you left it. You know, the complete opposite of what we're doing in real life. If we ever become an interplanetary species, the Earth is going to be like that nasty old dorm room you moved away from. Solid as steel cum socks and all.
There you go, that's the spirit. Yuck.
Interestingly, the game is non-violent. Now, I'm far from the virtue-signaling crowd that says violent games are now bad, and becoming eerily similar to the satanic panic high-horse riding crew they hated decades ago.
You have eyewitnesses. For instance, one case, the parents saw their child summon Dungeons and Dragons demons into his room before he killed himself.
But I still like it when games try a new idea, and games without conflict can still be really good. Lack of conflict does not mean a lack of challenge. You still need to contend with pollution, economics, food, and other problems that are inherent to survival besides beating each other to death with clubs. I also really dig the hexagonal map. I'm a sucker for board game aesthetics, since playing the real ones is where I get to pretend that I actually have friends. Cardinal Rock is a mythology-based deck-building roguelite that has an adorable theme and aesthetic, which is a welcome contrast to actual mythology. Mythology is one of those things that sounds awesome, then you read about it and it's less awesome and more perverse animal sex. People who say knowledge is power never read about Zeus's coitus in the form of a golden shower. You're either grossed out by that, or your last name rhymes with dump. You play as three gods from Greek or Egyptian mythology and battle a variety of creatures pulled from both myths. The three-character concept mixed with roguelite deck building looks to provide a space for a whole lot of neat combos, and the cute visuals are appealing. Interestingly, even more mythologies are planned even though the game is no longer in early access, which is pretty cool. Deck builders and mythology are pretty much a match made in heaven, so if you're a fan of the genre, it's probably worth checking out. I adore pirate games. They are games about power. You do what you want, take from the weak, give nothing back, and the laws do not apply to you. It's basically how corporations function under capitalism. We poors will have to settle for King of Seas to imagine what that feels like, since the only thing that trickles down is the sticky end result of upper management screwing you. King of Seas is a neat, ship-focused open-world RPG. You can conduct trade, complete quests, and of course, plunder booty. King of Seas also leans more into the fictional side of pirates with fancy, semi-magical power-ups that make fights more interesting, as well as ghost ships and enough tentacles to give weebs a nosebleed. There is a demo on Steam, and I found it to be a lot of fun, even though I sank 10 times in a row, after which the 30-minute timer was up.
You are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
But it definitely gives you a nice feel for whether or not it's a game that you will treasure. Earlier I showed you a cutesy deck builder based on mythology, but I have been known to play for the other team on occasion. I mean, I'm always the last one picked, and beggars can't be choosers. So I'm going to show you a dark and edgy deck builder based on a Thorian legend that just had its 1.0 release. Tainted Grail Conquest has you exploring a land of corrupted weirdness, which basically describes me, except I'm less of a conquest and more of a regrettable mistake thrown a night of pity. Tainted Grail is a very deep game, with 9 heroes, 460 cards, and a wicked number of combos. It's a roguelite with permadeath, but your meta progression comes in the form of a village and NPCs you rescue that provide bonuses for your next run. Tainted Grail's visuals are unlike that of pretty much any other deck builder, so hopefully it ends up being a high Excalibur title. I don't want to go around this table all day, but I'm reviewing the game once I'm done playing with my Lancelot, so you can look forward to that in the future. And if I make one more bad pun, my punishment's Guinevere. Does that one work? I don't know if that one worked. My fans aren't that smart anyway. Oh shit, I'm still recording. I didn't have the time to put together a big list this month, but I hope you still found something interesting. I do try to maintain my game release calendar on my website, so it's probably worth a look before I take the May portion down early next month. In addition to E3, I also have to renew my website in June, so consider checking out the links in the description below if you regularly find my crap helpful or entertaining. And as always, liking and subscribing is immensely helpful. In any case, thanks for watching, and until next time.